It does keep me going. My kids sing my songs. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to marketing class. I'm Jess, and I'm going to be here by myself today. Well, I'm going to be presenting on my own today with the lovely people who are here because it is hurricane season, and Julie had to run down to the beach house to deal with the storm surge. So y'all keep your fingers crossed for everybody in Florida, everybody on the Atlantic and Gulf Coast, not just Florida. I do realize that there's also Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, everybody who is in the path of hurricanes. Let's fingers crossed that this is a nice light year, just like last year. Today, I wanted to just talk about something that I really think is a good way to market yourself, is a good way to start a conversation, and that is what I'm calling the I saw this and thought of you marketing method. So I wanted to do it because it feels less like you're just shouting at the internet and more like you're starting a real conversation. Um, Honestly, that's what you want to be doing anyway. I know sometimes we're trying to meet quotas and you need to be showing up X amount of times a week. So you're just coming from behind and like shouting. It feels like shouting. Yeah, right. But if you really want someone to stop scrolling and think, that's me. Ah, I needed to hear that. She gets it. This is exactly what I've been dealing with. I should probably reach out to that person. Then you have to start thinking about your content like that because that kind of content feels personal even when it's being posted publicly. So this I saw this and thought of you. You are speaking to one person, and in past marketing classes, whether you're in Success Club, and you have been watching some of the replays, or if you are doing any kind of marketing training, speaking to one person is kind of a prerequisite for any kind of good response, because that's where, even though it's being posted publicly and even though the people consuming it know you're posting publicly, when you're speaking to one person, that really helps. um, it just it's you really can't say enough about that. So, as small business owners, we say things like, we help small businesses grow. We offer quality service. Contact us today. Um, Let us help you reach your goals. And things like that, none of that is really bad per se, but it doesn't really make Melissa feel seen. It doesn't make someone say to themselves, "Oh, wow, they are talking to me." Um, the content that connects is usually much more specific. It speaks to a real moment, some kind of like frustration that they're feeling, a pain point, a question, a desire, just really like the situation that that single person in your audience is already living through. And I said single person because there's probably plenty of people in your audience who are living through the same thing. But again, when you speak to them as a person, that is what's going to make the difference. So that's really what this conversation is to be about, what this class is to be about. You don't have to be clever every day. It's not about um, trying to do the most trending thing on TikTok. And it certainly shouldn't be about creating more content. It's about creating the content that makes the right person feel like you actually had them in their mind when you created that piece of content. So, let me see. I can't keep my notes. Julie's not here, so girl, we're getting the wind chimes. Oh yeah, so she's in Florida, so she's also getting let me make sure my sound's up. She's also getting some of the bands from Bertha. Is this one Bertha? I can't keep up because I'm actually not on the coast right now, so my mom is manning our house at the moment. So, Um, specific content, right? So why does specific content work better? I think uh, I think we tend to be afraid to get too specific because you're afraid that that will exercise someone. You don't want to leave anyone out. But a lot of times the opposite happens. The more specific you are, the more relatable your content becomes. So if you say something like marketing can be stressful, that is true. Um, for everyone who's tried to do marketing, but that's also really broad. So if instead you say something like, that feeling when you open Canva and you're staring at a blank design for 20 minutes, then decide that maybe you just won't post today, you'll let it wait till tomorrow. That is a single specific moment that not 100, but thousands of people can say to themselves, "Oh gosh, I did that yesterday." And that's the difference. So, the difference between marketing can be stressful and staring at a blank screen until you've lost all desire and motivation to post today. The difference there is quite weighty, right? Specific content gives your audience something to grab onto. And it takes that the general problem. Yes, marketing is stressful, marketing is overwhelming. There's too much to do, but it makes it feel real. So another thing, like instead of saying, and this is something that I recently did in an email, which is kind of what gave me this idea today. So instead of saying something like social media is important for your business, I say something like, if the only time you post is when your business gets slow in the famine mode, your audience is only hearing from you when you need something, right? So that hits harder because it's very specific. It kind of names a behavior, and it gives someone a light bulb moment like, wow, that's that's true. And that is a very good reason to not only post when business slows down. Similarly, we sent out some messages to our web clients, our web design clients. Um, and instead of like, your website should be updated, it's more like, if your website still talks about something you no longer do, only has photos from 5 years ago, makes people hunt for a next button, like what to do next, a contact. It may be costing you leads before they ever call. Like that is compelling. And most websites are in that state unless they just had an update or something. Most websites could use a freshening, a refresh. So the more helpful, these are more helpful because they can immediately compare what they're doing to their situation rather than your website should be updated. Okay, so they go to their website and they may agree, but because it's so vague, it's hard to wrap their mind around. Let me check back and make sure I don't have yeah, Bertha. Y'all are still talking about the hurricane. It's all cool though. It's hard. This time of year is very hard for us Floridians because it's like I don't know about you, but I wake up every day and I check the app to see if there's like something expected or certainly if there's something active out there to see where it is. Yeah, so the difference between generic and personal, generic marketing talks at everyone, personal marketing speaks to that specific person. So um, instead of, I'm trying to think, like book your appointment today, which Savita, I know you wouldn't necessarily say that, but um, instead of book your appointment today, you can say, if you keep meaning to schedule this, let this be your reminder to stop putting it off. And maybe it's paired with some kind of graph about how much a daily savings or a weekly savings could build up over time. Oh, I was trying to think for elderberry. Instead of we have the best products, we have the best syrup, the best elderberry syrup, which, we've done a lot of this psychology in some of your homepage and things like that. But if you're tired of buying, I'm trying to also make it general though, but like if you're tired of buying the cheaper version twice with no result, like this is the one that you actually wanted the first time. This is the one that's going to make the difference. And that is the kind of shift that I'd like you to think about as we talk about um, this. So it's not necessarily like changing the whole message at all. It's what's in it for them. Um, and I cannot stress this enough. In a world that's becoming increasingly more dominated by AI content, it feels human. It feels very human when you make this connection. So that was the other reason, because I know we talk about AI a lot. We talk about using it very, very clearly. We talk about using it as a tool, not as a replacement for your brain. But in a world that is increasingly more AI, coming at it as with this perspective will help you feel more human. So where does this content come from? So the best, I saw this and thought of you content usually comes from real life. So real life, and that's hard for me to answer for your business because I'm not getting the customer questions. I'm not getting the client frustrations. I'm not getting the comments people are making in passing. And I don't know what you explain over and over and over. But those are the kind of things I saw this and thought of you content can be built around. Other ideas like mistakes you see people making, objections people have that keep them from buying. Um, eh, and what are those moments where you're like, I wish people understood this? So we need to do more of that with your social plan, because I feel like that every day. Whenever we have to do something with YSP, it's like, I wish more people understood how great this was. So I may take this idea and try to create some content around that frustration that I have in marketing and selling a service that we offer. So those are all content ideas. So if a customer asks you, like, how do I know which syrup is right for me? That's a post. If someone says to you, Savita, I've been meaning to do this for months, think about why that person hasn't done it, and then that's a post. Something we could build a post, like we hear some of our old time clients saying, I didn't even know you offered that. Julie gets that a lot. I didn't even know you offered that, like SEO services and things like that. That's definitely a post. Was that like, I almost, we do a lot of work for lawyers. So, I almost didn't reach out because I thought it would be too expensive. That is certainly something that we address when we build content for higher price services and things like that. If people are confused between two services or products, there's your post. Yeah, I heard a couple of you typing. I am a genius. Stop. That part. I use my clips with my face. No AI. I wish more people understood that indecision is a decision. Yeah. Oh man, you are speaking. Yeah. I do feel like we would get along, Savita, because indecision is a decision, and personal responsibility to me. That's why I had to get out of my hair is lovely this morning, mom hair. Personal training. I did that shortly after I left the corporate world, and I just could not do it. Because to me, personal responsibility is like the very first thing I wake up every single day. And like, I don't wake up every single day and exercise, but everything I do, I am acutely is probably a better word, acutely aware that it is because of the decisions that I make. And I think it's kind of a rare thing because I struggled with the whole lack of personal responsibility, especially in the fitness and wellness arena. You know, so anyway, I don't want to go too deep into that, but personal responsibility is one of my like big things. And if I ever make a mistake, Julie, you can ask Julie. Like I'm not really interested in CYA, like covering myself, because I'm just like, well, I made the mistake. Here's how I'm going to fix it. And usually I've come to that conclusion before anyone ever realizes I made the mistake. That is so good. And that is what got told. We are in the personal responsibility biz. Yes. You will make this post soon. If you're tired of buying the cheaper elderberry syrup twice, grab the bottle you should have gotten first. No fillers, no preservatives, no thickeners, more of the good stuff. Yes. Cover those assets. Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay, where was I in my little notes? Let's see. Did we talk about how to use this method? One easy way to do this is to just kind of start with the phrase like, I saw this and I thought of the business owner who. So that would be the start of us, of how we market. I saw this and thought of the business owner who keeps posting random content but does not have a clear offer yet. I saw this and thought of the business owner who's outgrown their DIY website but keeps trying to make it work. I saw this and thought of the business owner who knows they need to market consistently, but they have no idea what to post. There you go. So I was thinking for a second, like how to adjust that. So this is for you if you keep meaning to post, but only remember when you're already stressed about trying to make sales. That the headspace that you come at from when you're like need to make sales is never a good one. This is for you if you are, tired of the crap that they keep putting in elderberry gummies or, what do you say, mass-produced elderberry syrup, that kind of thing. This is for you if you need someone to talk to about your financial strategy. This is for you if you've recently gone through a divorce and you need help getting back on your feet, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to turn real moments into content. Let's say a customer asks you the third time in 1 week, something very similar. Then you say, one question I get all the time is, or a myth busting post. Like a lot of people assume something about elderberry syrup or something about savings, but here's what actually matters. Like if you also connect with someone, like, I understand why this feels confusing, because it can be if you're not prepared, or it can be if you don't have the right people by your side. I understand why people buy elderberry from the store, because it's at the store, it's right there. But when you realize how easy it is for me to send it directly to your doorstep on an auto subscription and you'll never run out, then it becomes easier to have a better quality product at your fingertips. So this also does a really, really good job of building trust, because when your content makes people feel seen, it builds trust, period. And at the end of the day, where's Julie Herndon at? People do business with people. They want to know that you understand their problem. They want Yeah, they want to know that you understand them, you know what they're worried about, um, and that you're making their problem easier. So, let's see, any questions? Um, yeah, so, like a products-based business, I've kinda talked about that with the elderberry syrup, but, um, I think in general, people don't enjoy buying cheap versions that yield crappy results. Um, so anytime you can play on that, no matter what product-based business you're in, is good. So to the person who's bought 3 cheap versions and is finally ready for one that actually gets the job done, something like that. Um, for the woman who has ideas and ambition to get her savings and her finances in order, but has no clear plan for what to do next, I'm your girl. Um, speaking as Savita, right? uh, um, but those things are very connecting and not just like loud and generic. And it also doesn't have to be promotional all the time. I understand what you're going through. Here's something that might help. Like, I understand you're tired of getting sick all the time. You're tired of allergies. You're tired of big companies not caring about the quality of their products. Here's something that might help. Um, you're not the only one who feels this way. Here's what to do next. So, just kind of like as a final thought, because I feel like I'm kind of rambling now, like as you think about your content for this week and you say those dreaded words, what should I post? Ask yourself, who are you talking to? What are they dealing with? What do they need to hear? Is there something that they haven't realized yet that I can help them realize? Um, but most importantly, like, what would make them feel seen? Because I think the best posts are the ones that people come away from and they're like, man, that's what I needed today. Right. If you can make someone say those words, then you are doing the right thing. Um, Savita says my examples are juicy. Oh, good. Because I never know. Like, I don't really practice for these anymore. Because there's no point because you never really know who's going to show up. Doing a series called Beyond the Uniform and Beyond the Marriage, kind of sharing my journey. Today is right on time. Gotta have the know, like, and trust factor. Yes. You want them to feel like, OMG, she's talking to me, and raise their hand to work with you. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Let's see. You're tired of all the recalls. What is safe that I can eat? Listen, I don't watch the news and I hadn't changed anything. I feel like if they're still selling it in the store, then I eat it. And so far, so good. Now, that is not medical advice. Please don't go eat whatever you want if you feel like you shouldn't. Um, but I hadn't been really too concerned about it. And hopefully you can find something you're comfortable eating. I think it was just iceberg lettuce, right? Jen says, I love that you personalize these classes for those that show up. I'm so glad that you love that. We've thought about like restructuring or whatever because we'd really love to have like more than 6 to 10 people here. We'd love to have 50 to 100. And we used to have that, but I think it's just kind of a product of AI and people being able to get their answers elsewhere. So we love it when you show up. We love it when you bring a friend. We love it when you refer a friend to join Success Club. But you're most welcome. I'm glad you like the ideas. Are there any questions? Because it is 11:30, so I may dip out if you don't have any other questions, but I'm happy to answer them. So if you have them, now's the time to ask. And for those of you who might be watching on replay, that's the benefit to joining us live when and if you can, because not only do we tailor these to those who are live, but you also get a chance to ask any marketing question while you're here, and we'll try and help you through that. Anybody? There's a couple more people that didn't even talk today, which is fine. We can live with that. Oh, you're welcome. Do I like your posts on Facebook? I think I do. You're doing 75 hard and eating clean? Oh my goodness. Ugh, I'm not about that life anymore. Ooh. All right, everybody. She said go love on those babies and their grandpa. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I do. I always try. If I see somebody's, I'm really only ever on Facebook feed, which is why I don't really do much interacting on Instagram or TikTok or anything. So, but I do try. If I know somebody, I'll spend like a few seconds. I'll like count to 4 and then I'll like it or react. Just trying to make sure that if I'm someone's core 3, that I do give them the engagement they need. All right. Thanks so much for being here, ladies. Appreciate you. I'll see you next week. If you have a topic idea, send it. Otherwise, I've got a few up my sleeve. Yeah, Julie's fine. Do pray for her. It's always good. But they are fine. Bertha's mostly by, but they're still getting a bit of a surge, and they needed to go down there anyway. So they gone. All right. Thanks, everybody.